Hey guys, welcome to Mr. Smith's Kitchen. I'm Brian, Mr. Smith Kitchen. As always, I know right now would be like the time the introduction music would play and you'd see flashes and stuff from videos past, but just not that cool at editing, and I don't have an editor. But anyhow, today's Wednesday and I thought we'd cook some dinner. This is a quick, easy dinner. We have started canning season. And now, granted, I'm only going to do like maybe one or two items a week. And so I needed something quick that we could make for dinner, so it doesn't impede on a whole lot of the time for canning. I can only can about one day a week, and we have got a ton of tomatoes coming in right now. And so far today, the only thing I got done is completely canned is some copycat Rotel, tomatoes and peppers. And tonight I'm going to start salsa after dinner. And it's a 2-day process. You spend one day chopping everything up, you cook it for a little while, then you got to stick it in the fridge overnight and let everything set, and then you heat it back up and can it the next day. Here, I'll show you the Rotel real quick. Hold on. There is our Rotel, and I did it took a minute, but I had to do up 12 pounds of tomatoes, which is a fair amount of tomatoes, and I still have just a ton left to go. If you look, hold on a second, right in there on the kitchen table, I don't know if you can see them past the vacuum or not, but there's probably 70, 80 tomatoes just sitting there on the kitchen table. And I'll probably use all of those to make salsa, and that doesn't include the probably 300 tomatoes we have out in the garden. So time is kind of the essence for us on the couple days I have off. Plus, I've been baking for people, which has been nice. Those of you who have gotten cakes, pies, and cheesecakes off of me, thank you. I appreciate it as always. You guys are amazing. I take such great pride in making a good baked good or dessert for anybody, whether it's cookies, cheesecakes, cakes, pies, whatever it takes. But today we're going to do a creamy Alfredo chicken. The technical name for it, it's a Cajun dish. It is creamy Cajun chicken pasta. Now, about a year and a half ago, I did a Cajun chicken pasta. Not the same. There's a completely different look on it. That one had, if I remember right, spaghetti noodles. This one has linguine noodles. And it's got chicken, it's got some parmesan because we're making Alfredo sauce. It's got the heavy cream. This one also has fresh tomato in it, some fresh garlic, but it's a quick, easy meal all the same. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you stopped by. I hope you get something out of this video and all my other videos. If you're returning, thank you. Really, thank you. You're amazing. We've got a few new subscribers. Everybody should say hi. That's always awesome and exciting. We may actually hit, I set my goal, not low, but not high. Back in February, we had just broke 100 subscribers. Now we're almost to 200, and that was kind of my goal for the end of the year. So that's really, really cool. But anyhow, creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo pasta is what I think we're going to do. Let me get you down here to the counter, and we'll start doing some cooking. All right, hold on for me just 1 second. All right, we're down here to the counter, and it looks like I got a lot going on, but I don't. Really, well, I do, but I don't. So, to make this dish, first thing we're going to want to do is cook our pasta. So, the recipe calls for 8 ounces of linguine, and I'm probably going to put a little more than that in here. I'm probably going to double the noodles because we're feeding more than 2 people. Chicken, though, on the other hand, once you flatten it and cut it up, it goes a long way. So I've got my water boiling, so the next thing I want to do for this is I'm going to throw in a liberal pinch of salt. This is the only seasoning your pasta gets, and so you want to give it a good amount of salt while you're in there. And then that way, your pasta can get some flavor. So I'll go ahead and get the linguine in there. And you use what brand you like. I'm using the standard old Walmart brand. And like I said, the recipe calls for 8 ounces, which is about the half of a 1 pound box. What is half of a 1 pound box? But I am going to use 1 pound for my 1 pound box. And get that out of there, like such. Drop one on the floor, that way Sam can get it. And we're going to put our lid back on there. We're going to let this boil for about 13, 14 minutes. So I'll go ahead and just put my timer on so that way I know what I'm doing. Now, while that pasta is boiling, you would do what I've already done, which is you want to go ahead and you want to get 2/3 of a cup of tomato diced up, 3 or 4 pieces of garlic minced up real good. Get your half a cup of parmesan out. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of butter, and then we're going to and then the chicken. We'll just go ahead and flatten the chicken out while we're waiting on that to boil. So once those get done boiling, we'll drain them and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, I'll be right back. So for the sake of time, I thought we got 10 minutes to kill, and like right now you would normally be prepping up, but instead I thought I would go ahead and while that's boiling, just so it saves me a little time, I would go ahead and move on to the next step with you, because the next step doesn't really so much involve the noodles. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn our skillet on about a medium high, and I'll move that over, and we're going to melt a couple tablespoons of butter. So when I do my butter, you could just whop 2 tablespoons in there or something to it. Probably with cooking, it's kind of to each their own to some extent. But I cut mine up at a tablespoon at a time when cooking. That way it melts faster. But we're going to melt that butter, and while it's melting, you get that out of the way there, I'm going to we need a total of 2 tablespoons of a Cajun spice rub. Whatever brand you like, or if you don't have a brand today, we're using a rib rack spice rub, Cajun spice rub. I've never tried it before, thought why not? Sounds good. And we're going to take about 1.5 tablespoons of that 2 tablespoons, and we're going to put it on the chicken. Now, we've already flattened out our chicken, and you want to get it flattened out for a couple reasons. So here, let me show you real quick. If you when you buy your chicken breast, you can use thighs if you'd like with this, but normally your chicken breasts, when you get them, they got like a big thick side, which is the actual breast side, and then it tapers off. You want to take a mallet, or you can use the bottom of a heavy bottom pan or a pot, or if you've got a hammer, whatever you got, you want to make them even. See how they're nice and even now? So we want to get them nice and even. And then we'll go ahead and get our Cajun seasoning on here. I mean, you can put as much or as little as you like of this seasoning on there. If you like that flavor, awesome. Because I'm not exactly measuring this, but the recipe I found calls for 1.5 tablespoons. So I'm gonna go ahead and we'll get this rubbed on real quick. Just like such. And I can hear the butter's melting, and we're starting to make some progress there with the heating of the pan. So, and what we're going to do is we're going to stick this chicken in the pan, and we're going to sear both sides. All right, I got it on medium-high heat, so it's going to be hot. We're going to sear both sides, and then after we sear both sides, we're going to turn the chicken down a little so we don't burn it up, and we're going to cook it till it reaches the internal temperature of 165 degrees. So let me get this on here. It looks like our butter is finally melted. We're smoking a little. Means we're pretty good to go. And all we're going to do is just lay our chicken in here. Like I said, we're going to sear it. All right, so let me get this seared and cooked, and then when I come back, we'll drain the pasta and talk about what to do next. Okay, so our noodles are done, and we wanted to cook those al dente. Chicken, I turned it down. We're just cooking it now. It's already seared. Go ahead and get our noodles turned off. Now, I have a strainer here, and this is a trick I learned a while back and learned that I was kind of doing this all wrong all along. So instead of putting this in the sink and dumping the noodles in here and dumping it back, I just take the strainer and I put it over top of the pot just like that, and I drain it into the sink. That way, which you might get to see some of the steam because you're sitting in the sink. That's kind of a cool effect. All right, we are good there. Now, with this, you want to save about 1.5 cups of that pasta water. I just left it in the pasta. I left water in the pasta. But you want, not 1.5 cups, 1/2 cup of pasta water left in with your pasta. You don't want to drain it all. We're just going to cover that, finish cooking the chicken, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, I'll be back in just 1 second. All right, temping our chicken. I got the first one out. This one says it's 171 degrees, so I think we're good there. Had to have it up to 165. The other one was at 166. We're going to take that out. We're going to let those rest for a second. I just got them sitting right down here on the mat, just like such. So the next thing we need to do is grab 2 more tablespoons of butter, which would be exactly what I have right here. And it's nice and soft where it's been sitting out at room temperature. And we'll get that melted a little bit. Just like such. While that's melting, we're going to take our chicken. All right, come right down here. And we're just going to grab a hold of it and we're going to cut it into strips. All right, so you want to have a decently sharp knife for this. Remember, a sharp knife is important. Dull knives can get you hurt. And we'll cut this into strips just like such. Okay, we got our chicken cut into strips. Our butter has melted. So, and we got a nice little smoke going again. So the next thing we're going to add to this is sorry for keeping you guys waiting. I was really smoking up the house. To the butter, to the 2 tablespoons of butter we just threw in there, we're going to add our minced garlic. Just like such. And we're going to let that saute for about a minute. Now you want to keep it moving. And then you notice we didn't clean the pan. If you don't keep it moving, you'll burn your garlic. You'll burn your garlic. Sorry, TV was kind of loud. Well, the laptop was kind of loud. But 30 seconds to a minute. See how it's got a nice brown color to it? Doesn't take long. This pan is hot. We're going to add our tomatoes. All right, our diced tomato up. 2/3 of a cup of diced tomatoes, 3 cloves of garlic. And we're going to let this cook for a couple minutes now. All right, we're going to get those tomatoes nice and softened up. All right, we let everything cook for a couple minutes. We're looking good. It smells amazing in here. That butter and that garlic and the Cajun seasoning with the chicken. So the next thing we're going to do with this is we're going to put in 1.5 cups of heavy cream, all right, heavy whipping cream, which means it has at least a 60% fat content in it. We're going to get that put in there, just like such. Give that a good stir around. Then we got 2 more ingredients left to add in here. We're going to put in another tablespoon, about half to a tablespoon's worth of the Cajun seasoning. Sorry, I got a big clump in there trying to come out. We're going to put that in there. Remember, it called for 2 tablespoons total. And we used 1.5 tablespoons on the chicken. And we're going to put the Parmesan in there. That's 1/2 cup of Parmesan. I'm using Parmesan Reggiano. And we're just going to cook this down till it thickens a little bit. Basically till the cheese melts and it heats up and it'll get a little thick like an Alfredo sauce should. This is just a Cajun version, Cajun seasoned version of Alfredo sauce. Okay, so our Parmesan is melted. We've gotten a little thick, so all we have left to do, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off, is grab some of our linguine noodles. Now I'm not going to put all the linguine noodles in here because Abby will want some of these with just a standard red sauce. Um, and we don't want that. You know, to not have her any, she'll be upset. She's gotten to that stage in her life where she's just a hair picky. Now, I left that water in there. I should have put it in a measuring cup instead of leaving it in the pot. If you don't have that water with the sauce, the pasta water helps to marry the noodles to the sauce. So that way you've got, it sticks to it. If not, it'll just run right off of the noodles. So we're going to get those in there, get that runaway back in there, and then we'll take our chicken. We're going to put it in there just like such. Just like such. And then I'm going to take some dried parsley. I think it calls for a quarter teaspoon, half teaspoon. I'm just going to use a small palmful. And I'm going to sprinkle that over the top. If you have fresh parsley, you can use it. Hands down, I don't have any, so we're using dried parsley. Fresh parsley I just don't use often enough to make a difference on. So we'll get a little bit of that sauce on there. And I think more than anything, we're using it as a garnish today. So the recipe wasn't exactly it wasn't very specific on several things, which is okay. I mean, it didn't have to be, because you can adjust this to any way you want. Less seasoning, more seasoning, different seasonings. It's completely up to you. All right, well, I got that off. I'm gonna let this rest for a couple minutes, relid my rest of my linguine, so that way Abby has something to go with some red sauce and get some stuff cleaned up. And when I come back, we'll plate it and see how it tastes. All right, I'll be right back. All right, so we got cleaned up, looking good again. And I'll show you up close what that looked like. There is our chicken and pasta, our creamy Cajun chicken pasta. And I'm here to tell you, it looks good, it smells amazing. So I'll just plate some up and give her a try. I'm not going to plate a whole lot up, but that way I can eat some at the table. Yeah, not that you guys aren't worth a complete meal in and of yourself, but people will talk, that's for sure. We'll get a little bit there, a couple more small pieces of chicken, such. All right, we are rocking. Now, things you can serve this with, right there you are. There's an up close and personal view. You could serve this with a nice Caesar salad, or an Italian salad, or bread, a nice Italian bread, or a focaccia, or a bread of your choice. However, whatever you like to serve with Alfredo or pasta. I mean, you can put mushrooms in this thing. You could add onions to. The possibilities are just endless to what you could do with this. Because I know in my mind I can see mushrooms in this. I could see possibly some broccoli or some asparagus, or maybe even some small sliced up carrots. Just a million and one different vegetables running through my head. You don't have to necessarily use chicken. You could use a nice Italian sausage. You could use a steak, a turkey. Really, whatever your heart desires. But today we're using chicken. We're following the recipe, and I am trying my hardest to get this on the plate so you can have the first bite. Really, it looks amazing. It smells great. Let's try it. What do you say? All right, I'll go first. That, my friends, is off the hook. Really. Maybe a little more Cajun spice. Like I said, the seasoning I bought today, it's new. It's full of flavor. Full of flavor. Not a whole lot of spice. So if you're not a spicy person, that would be right. It would be right up your alley as far as that particular brand goes. But oh, amazing, absolutely amazing. And this meal took us, I mean, you pretty much watched everything I did. It took us less than 30 minutes. You know, about 40 minutes with me talking. So, without anybody talking, you could easily have this done in 30 minutes. Quick meal. It's a good meal. It's a filling meal. This will stick to your ribs. Yeah, it won't be one of those, I ate a little bit and I'm full for about 5 minutes and all of a sudden I'm hungry again. I think this will stick with you. And man, that's good. This has got just good. That Cajun seasoning it's a good seasoning. Anyhow, try this. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment down below. Or if you have a recipe similar to this, you know, or you do something different because you make this already, let me know. Or if you try it and don't like it, let me know. Just let me know. Either way. Or if you have no intentions of trying it, be like, Brian, no, I'm not trying this. I don't watch it because I actually want to make the food you make. I'm cool with that too. While I'm thinking about it, I usually mention it at the beginning, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The box for it is down here on my left. Yeah, on my left. I think. I don't ever remember. Notification box right next to it lets you know when my videos come out twice a week. And comments are always welcome. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Help grow the channel, get us into the algorithm, and builds our neighborhood. So don't forget to do those things if you haven't already. And if you have, awesome. If you haven't and you're about to, great. Tomorrow we're gonna bake, but I have no idea what we're gonna bake. None at all. But I'm sure it'll be something amazing. I've been a baking fool this last week. So, but we may do cakes, we may do another pie, we may do some cookies. I haven't decided yet, but I'll figure it out by tomorrow, I guarantee it. So, until tomorrow, I love you. Love you very much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Honestly, I do mean that. Tell somebody else you love them, and you love them very much. Make them some of this Cajun chicken Alfredo, and they'll know. They'll know. They'll be like, wow, they worked all day on this, not knowing it only took you less than 30 minutes to make it. So, I will see you tomorrow for some form of just delicious, sweet baked good. All right? I'll see you then. Love you. Talk to you later.